In the past, I've enjoyed my fair share of rhythm-based games, especially at the height of their popularity. I've played the likes of Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and even the Persona dancing games. Now granted, I haven't played one of these kind of games for a while, but the other day I was searching around online for some new releases and some new games to play on the channel, as I often do. And Beat Souls just kinda jumped out to me and really caught my eye. So I looked into it, and then I reached out to Eastasiasoft for a review code, and here we are. Considering the low asking price and the challenge that it offers at higher levels, you might want to consider picking this one up if you're into the rhythm game genre. So what does this game have to offer? Well, let me be realistic with you. This is a basic game and it doesn't have a lot of content. It has no story, no multiplayer, and unless you're going for those perfect runs or high scores in the infinite mode, it can be completed in a single evening. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the best roguelike games in the world have very little actual content, but you need to play through them multiple times. So what can you do in this game? Well, the premise of the game is that you're playing against the characters who are performing the songs. The 3 unlockable characters all require you to do slightly different things and learn different techniques to beat all of their songs. The hazards that they send towards you down the track are also different depending on who you're facing. Once you've played 10 songs against any character, you'll unlock them for use, and they each have a skill which can be seen on the character select screen. There's 4 characters to choose from, with only Makoto being unlocked at the start, but pretty quickly you'll be able to get Mei, Nene, and Rinko as well. There's 30 stages in the game, and as you beat and unlock songs, they increase in difficulty. Each song has both a normal and hard difficulty setting to tackle. There's also an infinite hell mode that starts off pretty easy and slowly increases in difficulty the further you get. It basically plays through all of the game's songs on an endless loop and keeps going until you fail. During a song, the goal of the player is to hit the beat souls that come down the track towards you. The beat souls themselves are the yellow and sometimes blue objects that almost look like little ghosts or souls, I suppose. You'll notice that in order to hit them, you must use the spaces on either side of your character. Basically, you don't want one of the beat souls to hit your character, you want them to go either side of her. Sometimes you'll see 2 beat souls right next to each other with no space for you to go in between them. When that happens, you'll need to hold down either L1 or R1 to move your soul catchers to either side of your character. It's also worth noting that it doesn't matter if your soul catchers hit any of the obstacles, they'll just go straight through them. It's your character that needs to avoid them. You'll sometimes see a line on the ground, and if you do, you simply need to jump over it to avoid taking damage. And lastly, every time you complete a song, you'll earn XP for your player level. Increasing this player level doesn't really seem to do much, but reaching level 9 is tied to a trophy and an achievement. If you find some of the art and visual effects a little bit too much for you, you can go into the options menu and turn virtually everything off for a more toned down visual experience. The music in the game itself is mostly a synth, techno beat kind of thing. I really don't know what genre it actually is. Perhaps you can tell me in the comments down below. I will say Rinko's music was kinda like rock in a way, so I definitely gravitated more towards that than anything else. So what do I think of it? Well, as I said at the beginning, I haven't played a rhythm game for a while, and frankly, I've never really been that good at them anyway. Well, except for Guitar Hero, because I can actually play guitar in real life, but you know the ones where you have to use a standard controller? Yeah, those, I do find those pretty difficult. That said, I think this game plays surprisingly well. I was ready for a lot of unfair misses and things like that, but no, the movement is really snappy and you can wait till the very last second to make your move, and the game does keep up with it with absolutely no problem. I don't remember a single time where I got hit and thought it was unfair, and not once did I feel like I got screwed out of a perfect run. It was just all very responsive, and just being honest with you, I didn't expect that. Not that I expect the worst of every game when it's on the cheap side, but you know how it goes, sometimes the polish and the experience just isn't quite there. In this case though, I think they've created a decent little game. As I mentioned at the start of the review, I think the artwork was really quite good. I mean sure, the in-game character art when you're selecting a track or actually playing a song don't look that great. They kind of look like old Flash animation, I suppose, but the 2D art of the characters in the menus and the overall style is very good. It's just very developed and realized, if that makes any sense, like it had a clear sense of direction. It's not bland or boring. The artist obviously had a vision in mind, and here it is in the game. The use of the vibrant neon colors and the way the characters are drawn just make me think of movement and fluidity, liquid and brightly colored soda cans for some reason. And thinking about it, I'd really love to see what these developers and artists could do with the kind of money that went into the Guitar Hero games. I think they'd do an absolutely incredible job. In regards to the music, it's really not my cup of tea, but that is, of course, subjective. I'm actually kinda stunted musically, if I'm being honest with you. I listen to metalcore exclusively and I just don't like anything else. I've tried other music, but nothing really does it for me. I mean, you could ask me about some really popular music, both old and new, and I would probably not like it or have never heard of it. I mean, feel free to try that out in the comments if you want to, but yeah, I think it works for the game and Rinko's music was easily my preference. Gameplay-wise, I found it to be pretty enjoyable. The tracks are pretty short, so it was easy to pick up and put down as needed, plus it really does ramp up the challenge if you want it. And I'll be the first to admit, I have very little skill when it comes to these games, but some of those tracks were just, impossible to me, so I did try a lot of the hardest stuff, and I just couldn't get through it. So if you like music rhythm games and, you're looking for a challenge, this could very well be for you. I found that around 6 stars was where I was most comfortable, and I think that's probably the medium difficulty if I had to guess. Lastly, the price. This game is available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch for around £9 in the UK and around $12 in the US. If you're a fan of the genre, then at that price, I think it's well worth trying out. I mean, if you don't like this type of game, I don't think this will be the one that's going to suddenly put them on your radar, but yeah, for fans and the price, it seems like a good deal. I played this on a PS5 and it works perfectly well on a home console, but I think it lends itself better to the portability of the Nintendo Switch. It's also possible to platinum this game or 100% its achievements in a few hours or a short evening, and I know this because I did exactly that. So if achievement or trophy hunting is your thing, it may be worth picking up for that. In my opinion, Beat Souls is a well-made and well-designed little rhythm game. It's easy enough to learn, it won't break the bank, and there's definitely some challenge at higher levels if that's what you're looking for. Ultimately, it's going to be real easy to recommend this as what it is, a music rhythm game. Obviously, if you only play RPGs or shooters and can't stand these types of games, this will be a hard pass for you. However, within its own parameters, this is not a bad effort at all by a small indie team, and if it looks interesting to you, by all means pick it up. I think you'll be surprised. If you enjoyed the video, I really hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you like what I do and want to help support the channel, please check out the first link in the video description down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.